Folks, we're live in London at the AntiConLX conference. We've just gotten off the panel with lovely ladies, myself, Lavinia, Lucy, and Nora, where we talked through what the metaverse is. You know, we demystified the concept, we talked through the challenges, the access, what it means for marketeers, and how you bring people into the metaverse. You know, again, there's this misconception around what the metaverse is. It's plain and simple. It's a virtually shared social space. You know, being in the internet, being out of the internet, being immersed, yes, exactly what it is. Now, everyone, I think the question is, how do I access the metaverse? I think that's the difference, right? Because people think it's, you know, hey, you go on Decentraland, it's web-based, you go on Sandbox, you go here, you know, you do it on the internet and all of that. You need to be in it. Virtual reality has to be part of it. Augmented reality has to be part of it. Mixed reality has to be part of it. And it has to be decentralized. You know, an element of blockchain needs to be in it as well. So again, you know, yes, it's evolving, like Nora said. And this is why we're at the front and center of it, building it, you know, sticking to that. You know, some might work, some might not work. We'll experiment, we'll test it, but it's been a privilege and an honor to actually be working in this space and talking to you guys about what we're doing and building and how we're shaping these things, you know. So, you know, to me, that's what the metaverse is. You know, Nora talked about misconception. You know, one of it is, you know, following the money, you know, follow the folks that invest. You know, she talked about the big numbers of venture capitalists across the world investing, you know, doubling down on their investment in the space and, you know, trying to innovate. The second is around the use cases, and I think Lavinia touched on it, you know, or Nora actually touched on it. It's not for everyone, you know. In March this year, we had a call with an estate agent in Kent that said, hey, Jimmy, I've seen what you guys are doing. Want to come into the metaverse? And I was like, what's the time taking to rent out a property? And they're like, between 5 to 10 days. And I'm like, okay, it'll take us about 3 weeks to build you this in virtual reality. No business sense, you know. So again, folks need to also understand what the components of the metaverse is, from design, requirements, building, you know, the value creation, the development, the application, the use, the entry, the access. All of this are fundamental to understand how to come into the metaverse. And it's understanding fundamentally as well what is important to your business and how can you add value using the applications and use cases of the metaverse. So we literally had a strategy conversation around access and hardware into the metaverse on Friday with my team. We had a couple of metrics, you know. So let me break it down. So if you look at banking, you know, Barclays, for example, how do I bank? I have online banking on the web, I have mobile banking, I have in-person banking in a branch, and I have telephone banking. But if you look at how the evolution of technology is coming about, right? Telephone banking and in-person branch banking are on the decline. A lot of these banks are improving functionalities in mobile phones their mobile applications, because a lot of people use their phones and they bank on the mobile, right? So if you know, coming back to your question around access to the metaverse, right? There are a couple of things. So one, you need a high-end computer spec, right? We're talking about 3D graphics, we're talking about motion graphics, we're talking about, you know, all of this type of next level motion capture. You know, we're talking about 5G as well from an infrastructure layer of the metaverse, right? You're talking about the hardware, you know, the cheapest, well, depending on who you ask, one of the most affordable virtual reality headsets is the Facebook's, the Meta's Quest. And again, that is about $300. Not everyone has $300 to go buy a device just to go into the metaverse. So all of these things are barriers to entry. However, that is the case with every new technology. The cost of entry is always going to be high. As more money is being spent on research and development, that cost starts to come down. And I keep saying to people, not until when an extended reality, and when I say extended, I'm using the words virtual, augmented, and mixed reality, are subsidized to a point where it's about $50 or $100 to get a headset or a device. And also, if we look at it from an educational perspective, when we start getting universities or colleges to start adding extended reality type courses or modules within their curriculum and aiding adoption from a young age. And when I say young age, I use this word loosely because we still need to look at controls, because that's going to be one of the challenges around the metaverse as well, you know. But once they start to put this in their academic curriculum, we start to see an increase in adoption, you know, just like how a lot of technologies, you know, we've grown with it, you know. A lot of times now we buy mobile phones and we don't even bother reading the manual. Actually, some phones come without manuals now, you know, because they expect you to understand, you know, what to do. So once those barriers, once those challenges are reduced, we start to see an uptick in adoption of the space. We're about to talk about the Metaverse Explained, how to get in and leverage booming opportunities within Web3. However, before I jump into that, let's take a step and talk about me. That's a nice picture, guys, right? Thumbs up if you think so. Ooh, okay. So my name is Jimi Daodu, founder and CEO of Vault Hill, where we are building a human-centric metaverse. Human-centric metaverse. Hold that thought. We'll come back to it. A bit about me. I'm a Christian, I'm married, got 2 beautiful kids. Academically, a first degree in computer science, a master's in advanced computing, and an MBA candidate at the University of Warwick. Professionally, worked for the likes of Expedia, Barclays, Colt, and a couple of blue chip companies in change and transformation and IT and process management. You didn't come here to come and hear me talk about myself, so let's dive into it. Metaverse. What does it actually mean? All right, let's talk through 2 important concepts. One, what is the metaverse in terms of definition? And 2, what are the components that surround the metaverse? 1, we define a metaverse at Vault Hill as a socially shared virtual space. That means something different to you, and that means something different to I. But we'll talk about how human centricity wraps that around us to deliver the concept of a human-centric metaverse. And just going on further, the components of the metaverse, I'm going to talk through 3 important key stages here, because that is very key to us at Vault Hill, and we're actively building that as we speak. 1, blockchain. 2, gaming engines. And 3, augmented reality and virtual reality. What is a blockchain? I bet a lot of you think a blockchain is all about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of that. If you think so, just raise up your hands. Don't be shy, it's fine. Nice, I see that, okay. However, a blockchain is actually the infrastructure layer of where all of these cryptocurrencies run on. Literally, it's a spreadsheet online. Like, I kid you not, it's an Excel spreadsheet online. It's transparent, it's secure, and you could check any transactions within the blockchain. So if you go to etherscan.com or polyscan.com, those are 2 blockchains that are popularly being used, Ethereum and Polygon. You know, so if I make a transaction today and I send you a cryptocurrency or an NFT on the blockchain, if you have my wallet address, you could actually see that transaction on the blockchain. The time I sent it, the date I sent it, and the wallet address, i.e. the account holder of who I sent it to. So again, from a transparency perspective, the blockchain ticks the box there. Gaming engines. How many of us play Fortnite, FIFA, has a PlayStation, Xbox? Ooh, a lot of gamers in the house. So if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, right, the technology behind it, where you interact with players, you know, if it's a shooting game or FIFA, you kick the ball, all of those game mechanics are built on a game engine. Now, you have various game engines out there. You have the likes of Unity, Unreal Engine, you have independent game engines as well. That is a fundamental part of the game interaction within the metaverse. So how you bring avatars in, you and I, if I create a digital version of myself, which I'll talk through shortly, that is how you interact within the metaverse. And then lastly on this slide, talking about augmented reality and virtual reality. How many people have Snapchat? Okay, quite a few. Now, how many of you use the filter where you have a cat or a dog on your face? Awesome. That is exactly what you call augmented reality. So that is the ability of capturing, or how do I put it? It's the ability of using a virtual asset in the real world. Virtual reality, augmented reality, sorry. And next is virtual reality, whereby you're fully immersed. We call this, immersed in the internet. How many of you have watched Ready Player One? Okay. So that is technically what you call virtual reality, where you're immersed, taken away from London. You could be in China, Nigeria, Africa, wherever it is, through the technology of virtual reality. I'll move on. Because we're using Vault Hill, a human-centric metaverse, as a use case to bring all of these concepts I'm talking about to life, I want to talk you through 3 key principles. 1, explore. You want to know, you're curious, you want to know what you could do in the metaverse, right? Come to Vault Hill, we have an exploration map where you could, just like you have Google Maps, you could check out where London is, how far is London from, Birmingham, how far London is to Dubai, for example. We have that as Vault Hill, and we use that to get people to understand how you could explore our worlds. The second is about experience. We talked about the metaverse being a socially shared virtual space. You have to experience this. You could have that immersively. Our first product, which we are working on, is about virtual reality. How do we get completely immersed in the internet? And we've done that through a number of use cases. One, we've built a mindfulness meditation for UAE's first NFT artist, Amrita Sethi, where you could immerse yourself and meditate. We've also built a wellness center that has a mindfulness class and a yoga session in a fitness center for a fitness app company in Hong Kong called Today Fit. And lastly, we talk about the economy of the metaverse. We talk about how you monetize, how you make money, how you earn, how can you get involved. We have a NFT marketplace where you could sell goods and services on the blockchain through NFTs. So talking through these 3 points, you come in, you explore, you come in, you're able to build an experience, and then you're able to monetize it, i.e. sell. We've talked through the experiences within Vault Hill. Now let's talk through the ecosystem. And this will bring a lot of what I'm talking about to life and connect the dots for you and I. 1, the metaverse, right? We've talked about the metaverse in terms of virtual reality, shared space. But let's dive a little bit deeper at what we're doing at Vault Hill within the metaverse. 1, we're building islands and districts across 3 years that are human-centric. And I'll talk through that in the next slide, where we've taken 7 out of 16 basic human instincts to build our world. 2, we have virtual land as an NFT. Different asset class. It's not a cryptocurrency, it's an NFT. And this is one of the utilities where you could use NFTs as a virtual asset. 3, we have the ecosystem currency, VHC. So yes, we have a token as well, just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's called Vault Hill City tokens. And then lastly, thinking back to when I got involved in 2017, 2018, I bought land because I heard about it. I didn't know what to do with it. So I said, hey, people are investing in this. I did a little bit of research, and then I bought into it. And then a couple of years later, I sold it for a decent gain. But the idea when I bought it was to land bank it. What we're now doing is answering that question of, what do I do with virtual land? So we're working to create a no-code builder tool where you and I can jump into Vault Hill City and actually build things. You could build this stage in Vault Hill City on your piece of land and then sell that. You could construct a virtual office, which is interactive, where you come in and there's an AI chatbot or avatar that tells you or welcomes you into your virtual office, for example. So we're trying to bring adoption into the space by providing these tools for folks to be successful in the virtual world and the metaverse. Secondly, we talk about the NFT marketplace. This is the economy, this is the bank, basically. This is the economy of our metaverse, whereby you could trade your NFTs, you could digitize your content creations into NFTs, you could build 3D models, you could mint those as NFTs and also sell within the marketplace. The native cryptocurrency VHC token is also used to power purchase within the marketplace. Third, we have avatars, which is your digital presence within the metaverse. So just like how you have a profile picture on your LinkedIn, on your WhatsApp, on your Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, an avatar is a digital form of yourself that you can customize. If you want to make a different type of if you want to create a different personality, whether it be a work mode, social function, a party, you can go in and customize and create your avatar. What we're looking to do here are a couple of things within the digital identity space. Earlier on today, I was on a panel where I talked about self-sovereign identity. How do we keep your data safe? How do we prevent nefarious activities, pedophiles? How do we keep kids safe in the metaverse that are of age? This is the concept we're exploring to solve some of those. Again, this is new technology. The likes of Facebook are spending Meta are spending billions of dollars on the metaverse. So it is important we start to look at how we get some of these key principles right from the onset. And the last is XR consulting. So any brand, any user, any content creator, anyone in this room that wants to know about how I could make money or how I could experience or explore what a metaverse is, we have a consulting arm, charge a little fee to talk through what that process is. And then if you want to then get your brand or your concept into the metaverse and build that out, we could do that for you as well. So for example, if you want the Burj Khalifa on Big Ben and the Eiffel Tower, come to us, we'll build that for you. But let's talk through what we mean by a human-centric metaverse. What does that mean to you? And what does that mean to I? And we've taken 7 out of the basic human instincts, 16 of them, to build our world. Curiosity, idealism, imagination, romance, community, vitality, and play. And this is how we're sectioning the districts so people come in and benefit from how we do this. So for example, in vitality, we're working with health and fitness providers, physiotherapists, mindfulness coaches to build those type of simulations into the metaverse. And again, we're doing this from a very sustainable approach. We've partnered with a company called Stability to offset the carbon we use building the metaverse. So every transaction in our metaverse is offset through a carbon return and exchange policy, which we fund. How do you get involved in Web3? You could ask, what are those important steps? How can I, get involved in cryptocurrency, real estate, marketing, sales? How can I enhance my business model in this space? 1, training and certification courses. I'm a big believer and fan of education. I feel like every time you need to learn something, you go on Google, you search, how can I do this? And you learn. Again, same way, there are a lot of online articles out there. We within Voltail, we have a blog, blog.voltail.io, where we share a lot of important information around how you get into the space, the ecosystem, and all of those good things. There are also a couple of certification providers where you could take courses in blockchain, NFTs, and get specialist knowledge in them. The likes of University of Oxford have started offering blockchain strategy courses that you could go to attend and get a qualification from that. You could also start by creating or collecting NFTs. How do you do that? Well, you first need to have a cryptocurrency wallet, either MetaMask or Trust Wallet or one of the wallets out there. And your wallet is an example of a bank account. So just like how you have a bank account with NatWest and to get all your details from your first name, last name, your mother's name, everything they want to collect to open a bank account. On the blockchain side of things, it's as straightforward as a 5-minute exercise. You click on MetaMask or Trust Wallet, you safeguard a 12 digits phrase, which is your private key. You keep that safe, and you have access to a wallet almost immediately. That solves a lot of problems for folks that don't have access to banking. Once you have that wallet, you fund the wallet, and then you're able to go on any marketplace, OpenSea, Volatile marketplace, to buy NFTs, to either start collecting and creating NFTs as well. There are a lot of online courses and classes on how you do this. Third is simply enjoying immersive experiences. When we're up and running as Volatile, you can come into our world, jump into a VR headset. We're also looking at access, so you might not need to have a virtual reality headset to jump into an immersive experience. We're looking at the strategy around that. Fourth, you can invest in virtual land, again, as a different asset class to artwork, music, cryptocurrency. And lastly, you could also buy some cryptocurrency. This is not financial advice like everyone would say, telling you this. Do your own research. Look at the project, look at the team, speak to the founder, speak to the CEO. I kid you not, you could have a meeting within a couple of hours or days with the founder and CEO of most of the projects out there. It's not like your traditional companies where it takes 3-6 months to have a conversation with the founder and CEO and ask genuine questions about your investment and their project as well. Real estate in the virtual world. What does this mean? Anyone heard about virtual land? Hands up, please. Awesome, a few folks. What does this mean? Again, the same way okay, let me tell you guys a concept first. So the likes of Taylor Wimpey, Redroll, the popular developers in the UK all build homes and houses on land, physical land, right? They probably buy that from the government or people that bought that and then, start building houses that they sell to you and I. Same way you do in the virtual world, and you could build anything on it. Literally like Control-Alt-Delete or Control-Copy and Control-C and V, copy and paste what you want, right? But you can't just live in it physically. You can't go to bed in the virtual world, but you could build almost everything in the virtual world. And you could do that on virtual land as an asset class, which is an NFT, which is also on the blockchain. So again, another use case of the blockchain. What are those utilities and benefits with virtual real estate? You could showcase your products and services in augmented reality and virtual reality, again, creating a different experience to what people are used to. I talked about building a virtual office earlier on. You could do that, on your virtual real estate. You could make passive income, renting and leasing virtual lands and building. And I'm sure some of you are like, is that really a thing? I kid you not, it is a thing. You need to be a little bit more curious and go to the right platforms, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, to see those people that would actually want to rent and buy and lease virtual land to you. You could have branded gaming experiences on your virtual real estate. So LAX as a brand could host or replay this particular session in the metaverse on your virtual land. You could get gamers and like-minded folks to build game experiences and brand that with your product activation and all of those good stuff. Virtual goods are NFTs. And this is becoming a thing now where you buy a physical product, you digitize it and sell it as an NFT, right? So I could sell my Pandora, for example, what I'm wearing, as a physical NFT, a physical asset, digitize this as an NFT by either taking a picture or creating a 3D model of this, going on the blockchain, minting it, and then providing that proof of ownership to you to buy that, to say, hey, you have a proof of purchase that this is your Pandora moving forward, and I sell that to you. So again, folks have started looking at how you digitize physical and virtual goods as NFTs. And lastly, easier transactions with e-wallets and cryptocurrencies. No more third parties. And a classic example of this is tokenization. If I have Barclays shares and I want to give that to my wife, I need to go to Hargreaves Lansdown, which is a stockbroker, get them to sell it, get them to now buy it in my wife's name to give that to her. A couple of transaction fees are being paid across and a lot of information is being exchanged. Transactions are easy on the blockchain, no middleman. You have the blockchain that authenticates it with a couple of validators, which are, call it computers, right? That see the transaction, authenticate it, and that share is already exchanged between you and I. A couple of industry folks have started moving into the metaverse, right? So it's not just me coming in here and talking and educating about the metaverse. The likes of Coca-Cola, Gucci, MTN, Hyundai have started being in the metaverse. MTN is actually a global telecommunication provider in Africa. They've bought virtual land to actually build on and create new experiences for their users. Gucci has done a collection of NFTs for some of their bags and shoes, whereby you buy those NFTs and you get exclusive access to a number of items and rewards. So again, thinking of it from a rewards perspective as well. And then let's talk about the significance of NFTs from a monetary perspective. Now, I am not flashing these out here to get you guys to think, oh, NFTs are quite expensive. They're worth quite a lot. Again, the value is with the beholder, right? But these are examples where NFTs have significantly sold for a huge amount of money. And then you're thinking, why would I want to buy a tweet from Jack Dorsey for almost $3 million? Why? If I have $3 million, I'll probably do, a couple of life-changing things with that. So again, people are spending significant amounts of money on this. And a lot of companies have started investing money on NFTs. But what is important to note is the value creation system of NFTs. You need to understand how NFTs can impact your brand, the ease of transactions, and all of those good things in the middle. Don't just create or get a brand to create NFTs because everyone is talking about NFTs. It is important to figure out the value and the transformation that involves with this process. And then let's talk about a few utilities within the NFT space. Tokenization of blockchain assets. I gave an example of the Barclays shares. That is an example of tokenization of assets. We have exclusive membership. A couple of communities and brands give you exclusive access to either from a fashion perspective, the early on sales, or from a party perspective, exclusive access to a couple of VIP parties and all of that. Those are part of the utilities of NFTs. You have royalties as well. So within the music or art industry or any industry that involves royalties, you could use that to make income as well with NFTs moving forward when you sell them. You have governance voting. I'm sure you're like, what does that mean? Just like how you have shareholders within a traditional framework, you also have governance within the blockchain world, whereby the more NFTs you have, the more you're able to vote on certain activities within a community. You also have staking NFTs. What does staking mean? Staking is the act of giving back your NFT to the providers, and they give you a substantial reward on those NFTs within a time period. So think of it as dividends payouts or dividend paying within stocks and shares in the traditional world. And lastly, community rewards. A couple of projects have communities, and when you start to participate by visiting certain experiences or answering certain questions, you get rewards. Same way you fly with Virgin Atlantic or Emirates and you get Avios and reward points, communities have started incentivizing their users as well. But first, how do you get started? How do you get involved? What do you need to do? The first is a hashtag popularly used in the crypto community, which means or stands for do your own research. Take some time out to study a project or a community or an investment opportunity, just like how you would do for any investment opportunity. The second is open a cryptocurrency wallet. So I talked through about earlier how you open a Trust wallet or a MetaMask wallet. Buy some crypto tokens. I keep advising people to get involved in this space. It feels like we are in the internet back in the 90s within this space. Yes, there's still going to be regulations come in. Yes, it's an unregulated space, but only use money you can afford to lose. Not a financial advice, but do not remortgage your house to buy Bitcoin. You might regret that in 5 years' time. You should have done that, but hey, I'll just say don't do that. Swap for any currency. Trade tokens with each other. And lastly, buy virtual land or any NFT of your choice. You could come to Voltil and buy some land, hey, but you could do that with any other assets as well. And thank you. That is a QR code. If you scan that, you get access to our link, social media, and more information. Importantly, we have a blog where we publish 2 to 3 articles every week on various topics, blockchain, NFT, metaverse related. So please feel free to go in there, educate yourself. My Telegram, my contact details are on there. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask. Thank you very much for your time and appreciate your patience in this.